These are the moments when a YouTuber with a welder and a dream goes head-to-head with one of the most exclusive manufacturers on Earth, and Ferrari absolutely didn't see this coming. Matt Armstrong didn't just rebuild a crashed Ferrari 296 GTB, he transformed it into something that technically shouldn't exist, and in doing so, he exposed the iron grip luxury manufacturers have over their own products. Let me paint you the picture of what happened here. Matt Armstrong, the Leicester lad who went from BMX tricks to building a 6.2 million subscriber YouTube empire by fixing crashed supercars, snagged a mangled Ferrari 296 GTB for £100,000. That's about $135,000 for a car that retails for $320,000 when it's not wrapped around a tree. Standard Matt Armstrong territory, right? Buy it broken, fix it up, document the chaos for YouTube gold. But here's where the story takes a hard left turn. Midway through the rebuild, Matt made a decision that would send Ferrari's legal department into overdrive. He decided to order genuine Ferrari 296 challenge parts. Not aftermarket stuff, not knockoffs, the real deal, straight from Ferrari's track-only race car program. Now, for those who don't know, the Ferrari 296 Challenge isn't just any track car. This machine is Ferrari's latest single-make racing weapon, debuting in 2024 with a price tag of $411,000 plus. It's the first Ferrari Challenge car to use a V6 engine, pumping out 700 horsepower after they ripped out all the hybrid components to save weight. We're talking about 308 pounds lighter than the road car and capable of generating over 1,900 pounds of downforce at 155 miles per hour. Matt's plan was audacious: transform his crashed road car into something between a street 296 GTB and the track-only Challenge. He sourced the wild rear wing, the full Challenge body kit, and started bolting it all on. The transformation looked genuinely impressive. At first glance, this thing appeared like it belonged on a racing grid, not in a salvage yard. But Ferrari wasn't having any of it. See, what Matt had inadvertently done was create something that violates multiple levels of Ferrari's carefully constructed ecosystem. First, he was rebuilding a crash-damaged car without using Ferrari-approved repair procedures that, by the way, aren't even available to independent shops. Second, he was mixing challenge parts with a road car, essentially creating a hybrid that Ferrari never intended to exist. The response was swift and brutal. Ferrari blocked his parts orders. They refused to provide diagnostic support. When Matt tried to get the car inspected at a Ferrari-approved body shop, a requirement before they'll even look at a crashed car, he hit a wall. The car isn't going to pass the inspection because we've now fitted it with a race kit, Matt explained. On top of that, we haven't used Ferrari's correct repair procedures to do our repairs because they're not available to us. So it's looking unlikely Ferrari would even touch this car. This is where it gets really interesting from a car guy perspective. The 296 GTB is a plug-in hybrid with a 7.45 kilowatt-hour battery pack and an electric motor sandwiched between the twin-turbo V6 and the gearbox. The whole system churns out a combined 830 PS, giving it a power-to-weight ratio of 560 horsepower per ton. But when the hybrid battery controller module started throwing fits, and this isn't the kind of fault you can diagnose with an OBD scanner and a YouTube tutorial, Matt found himself completely locked out of Ferrari's support network. The irony is delicious. Here's a guy who's proven he can source dashboard components for $2,648 when Ferrari charges $7,680 for the same parts. He's the same guy who exposed that Lamborghini charges nearly $1,900 for an air conditioning unit that's identical to one from a Rover 45 that costs $30. Matt has built his entire brand on showing that the Emperor has no clothes when it comes to supercar parts pricing and availability, But Ferrari operates on a different level entirely. They don't just sell cars. They sell exclusivity, heritage, and control. Getting on Ferrari's blacklist is a real thing. They've been known to ban customers who modify their cars without approval, who flip limited editions too quickly, or who otherwise damage the brand image. Matt's project hit every single trigger point. The 296 Challenge program is particularly sacred to Ferrari because it represents their latest racing philosophy. Unlike previous Challenge cars that were basically production models with modest modifications, the 296 Challenge underwent radical development to optimize it purely for track use. Ferrari doesn't want some YouTuber creating knockoff versions in his garage, no matter how skilled he might be. What's fascinating is how this project spiraled from a $135,000 purchase into a $131,000 nightmare. And that was before Matt even got to the challenge parts. We're looking at over $250,000 invested in a car that Ferrari essentially refuses to acknowledge exists. But Matt didn't build his audience by backing down from impossible situations. This is the same guy who's currently rebuilding a Bugatti Chiron Pur Sport, one of only 60 ever made, after Bugatti CEO Mate Rimac publicly said the repairs weren't safe and initially quoted $1.7 million for factory restoration. The same guy who turned a personal crisis, his girlfriend's crashed Audi TT, into his first viral rebuild video by buying the wreck for £600 and documenting the entire process. The COVID lockdown became his breakthrough moment. While furloughed from his day job, Matt took his house deposit money and bought a crashed Bentley Continental GT for £10,000 on eBay. That decision to bet everything on YouTube content creation launched him from under 2 million to nearly 5 million subscribers in under 2 years. Now he's sitting at 6.2 million subscribers and 870 million total views, proving that audiences are hungry for someone willing to challenge the established order of supercar ownership. Every time he exposes the absurd markup on OEM parts or shows that these supposedly unrepairable cars can actually be fixed with enough determination, he's chipping away at the mystique that manufacturers work so hard to maintain. Ferrari's pushback on the 296 project isn't just about one YouTuber and one car. It's about maintaining the carefully constructed barriers that keep these machines exclusive and profitable. When Matt starts bolting challenge parts onto a road car, he's not just building a cool project. He's demonstrating that the lines Ferrari draws between their different product tiers are somewhat arbitrary. The technical reality is that Matt created something genuinely unique. A 296 GTB with challenge aero and aesthetics, but retaining the hybrid powertrain would actually be an incredibly compelling package. More downforce and aggressive styling than the road car, but still street legal and daily drivable. Ferrari would never build such a thing because it would cannibalize sales from both ends of their lineup. As I'm recording this, Matt is facing a choice that perfectly captures the modern supercar ownership dilemma. He can try to source a second-hand hybrid battery and hope it doesn't require Ferrari's proprietary coating, throwing him right back into their hands. Or he can attempt the nearly impossible task of convincing Ferrari to work with him despite violating every protocol they hold sacred. Either way, Matt Armstrong has already built something Ferrari didn't expect. Not just a modified 296 GTB, but a platform that exposes how these manufacturers maintain their stranglehold on their own products. In an era where right-to-repair battles are fought over everything from smartphones to tractors, Matt's Ferrari project represents the supercar equivalent of that fight. And win or lose, he's shown 6.2 million subscribers exactly what happens when you dare to color outside the lines that Ferrari has drawn.